How is classical music preserved in Vietnam? Have you ever wondered how a country with such a rich musical heritage keeps its classical music alive? In Vietnam, the journey of classical music preservation is fascinating, especially in the context of its post-communist era. After the communist government took control of North Vietnam in 1954 and unified the country in 1975, classical music faced many challenges. Initially, the government promoted socialist realism in art and music. This movement focused on themes like social justice and equality, often sidelining classical music and other genres. In the early years of communist rule, classical music was not completely banned, but it was closely monitored. The government preferred music that aligned with socialist ideals, making Western and pre-1975 Vietnamese music less accessible. This created a unique environment where classical music was somewhat hidden from the public. However, everything began to change after the economic reforms of 1986. As Vietnam opened up its economy and society, cultural restrictions started to ease. This shift allowed classical music to regain its place in the hearts of many Vietnamese people. Today, several key elements contribute to the preservation of classical music in Vietnam. First, education plays a vital role. Music schools and conservatories across the country provide formal training in music theory, performance, and composition. These institutions ensure that young musicians learn the skills needed to appreciate and perform classical music. Second, cultural events and festivals are essential for keeping classical music vibrant. Regular concerts showcase both local and international artists, creating a lively atmosphere for music lovers. These events not only entertain but also educate audiences about classical music. Third, community engagement is significant. Many community orchestras and music groups actively promote classical music. They often perform in public spaces, making it more accessible to everyone. This grassroots approach helps to cultivate a love for classical music in diverse audiences. Lastly, digital technology has transformed music preservation. Recordings and online platforms allow classical music to reach a wider audience. This ensures that classical works are preserved for future generations to enjoy. From a communist viewpoint, preserving classical music aligns with a broader cultural strategy. It helps promote national identity while connecting with global cultural trends. However, the state's influence on how classical music is presented can shape its appreciation. In summary, classical music in Vietnam is preserved through education, cultural events, community involvement, and digital technology. The evolution of this music reflects the country's journey and resilience in the face of change.